All right, YouTube, this Detroit's HPTV coming to you out of Detroit back with another video. And what I want to do today is I want to do a reaction to Hassan Campbell video out of New York. You know, and Hassan Campbell, he speaks a lot on gang violence and what goes on in the community. If you're not familiar with him, uh, check into his story. And he has a pretty large platform and he talks real gritty sometimes to get his message across. And you know, I got another take. I'm gonna show you his take on it, and I'm gonna show you my take on the situation because what I've noticed in the black community, they don't care about each other. Women don't care about other women, men don't care about men, and the children are destroying each other. See, capitalism and money and keeping up with the Joneses have become more important than anything else in the black community. You know, the same people that go to church and sweeping down their Christians, them the ones that hate their neighbors the most. Them are the most underhandedest ones in the family, the ones that sit in church every day, because the church has been infiltrated by capitalism, demonic spirits, and everything else. So we look at a community to where we could see the children destroying each other on a daily. You don't see black people outraged. You don't see them marching in the street. They march in the street now. If it's a white person or police that unalives a young person, then you have the ambulance chasers, the Al Sharptons, and them. They come out because it's a profit to be made. But the everyday, day-to-day violence, nobody really cares. Nobody cares until it's them. And then you look at your Facebook timeline and you got some uncaring adult talking about pray for them and their family. And little John got his wings when they ain't never cared about nobody else before. I be wanting when they send that down my timeline, so I be wanting to say so bad, that little ninja ain't getting no wings. You know he down there cooking with the rest of them. Because I know and I watch these people and I know they don't care about nobody else's children. They barely care about their own. Why you think that you can come in the black community and people got Cadillacs and Benzes, but their children can't even get to college? They won't spend a dime to send their children to college because they're too busy buying Gucci purses and Louis Vuitton bags and Air Jordans and video games. But they love their children, right? You love your children, but you won't put a penny aside for them to go to college and have a better future. You say, well, I put a roof over their head and I fed them, and most of y'all use that as an opportunity to get Section 8 and bridge cards to help you come up so the children come in holding their own. So let's keep it real. You know what I'm saying? The community is not a community. It's a bunch of crabs in the barrel pulling each other down. And you ask, how do we get that way? We got that way through liberalism. We got that way through throwing aside our conservative views. We got that way by saying we don't need a nuclear family. We got that way by saying a masculine man is toxic. We got that way through all the debauchery that you allowed to come in through liberalism. Do you really think, and I just think that do the black community really think that their prayers are heard by the Most High, by God? When your gospel sounds just like the secular music. You know what I mean? Do you honestly think that you can thug it out and thought it out all week and then go spend 1 hour in church and you saved? The black community as it's going right now is doomed unless they turn back to righteousness, unless they turn back to the Most High or God or whatever you call them, because the division is so obvious when you see the destruction. You've never in the history of this country and world have you seen a youth of the same nationality destroy each other daily. And on the holidays, they work overtime. Who taught them this hatred of each other? Like Malcolm X said, who taught them to hate themselves? Who raised them? Who raised them? That's what we got to think about. So that's enough of my commentary. I want you to check out Hassan Campbell and what he has to say about this situation, because I don't think nobody really cares. This is for fair use under the 1976 Copyright Act for education commentary. I don't think nobody really cared until it's their child.
Well, good morning, guys. Yeah, since the start of the holiday weekend, Wednesday evening, our latest numbers show at least 103 people have been shot, 19 of them killed. Those numbers are nearly double what we saw last year. And
now, why isn't anyone talking about this? 100 young people shot in one city. Now, we're not going to talk about how this happened in Detroit and all over the Black community. 100 people shot, 20 lost their lives. But that's not news because y'all can't stand Trump. You know, y'all want to talk about Trump.
both Mayor Brandon Johnson and Superintendent Larry Snelling are trying to find ways to provide support to the community. We know the last shooting that we've heard so far took place in West Chesterfield and at East 89th Place, where 2 people were shot and 1 of them killed. And that was just minutes before the shooting you're going to see here that took place in South Austin neighborhood, where 1 person was shot and killed. And of course, all of this coming as police have been very busy still investigating the murder of a 26-year-old man who was shot and killed while walking in the South Loop, sending neighbors into panic.
Shall we begin? Shall we begin? I just need to know, son. When did it become a thing where we brag about being outside in poverty in some of the worst neighborhoods? When did it become a badge of honor to hang out on the same blocks that our babies is dying? In Chicago, you got 103 young kids gunning each other down in the streets playing Call of Duty. 19 of them dead. And all over Black America, you got a bunch of old-ass men who never made it out of the hood on social media bragging about still being in the hood. Can somebody please help me to understand that mental insanity? Those mental shackles that you have on your brain? See, it's sort of like when a fiend goes out and get that bag, and that bags that he take turns his own TV off. He rocks his own snot box. And then the rest of the fiends, instead of sitting up there saying, we don't want that, no, you go gravitate and run to the same bag that destroyed the last fiend. I need for you and you and you, all you dudes that celebrate failure, that turn being in the hood, the battlefield, you turned it into a badge of honor, hanging out on a block where the babies is dying at, and you're proud. You proud? I always thought the main objective was to A, clean up the hood, and if you can't do that, B, get the hell out of the hood. The mayor on the news, happy because he finally found the answer to getting rid of the rats, which was to give the hood garbage cans. the mayor on the news. Happy because he finally found the answer to getting rid of the rats, which was to give the hood garbage cans. The suburbs had garbage cans forever and ever and ever. We had garbage cans. But they just finally decided to give you garbage cans so you could take out the trash. Are you not entertained? Is this not why you're here? The poor putting on their best clothes, their best outfits, their best garments to stand on a block to celebrate being poor with the illusion of looking like you rich by standing in shitty neighborhoods. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. I can't even believe what I'm seeing on social media. In the real world, there's mamas crying, candles burning, liquor being poured out, appointments being made to reach out to the pastor to bury the babies. And the men of the black community ain't nowhere to be found. Where's all the fathers at? Why these young boys out there dying in the streets? Where's all the uncles at? Oh, that's right. Y'all standing on the same corner, intimidated by them young boys looking in the opposite direction. And see, I figured you suckers out, right? I figured you out. Some of the ones that do got money, y'all don't want to leave and go too far from the hood. Because if you ever fall off your feet, you can always come back to the hood and push your poison and destroy families in order so you can elevate yourself in life. So you don't care about what goes on in the hood like I do. I figured it out. That's why a lot of you cats don't like me. Y'all don't like my message. That's why y'all talk about y'all don't listen to me. Because I'm a reflection of what you not. Somebody trying to clean the hood up. Dudes telling each other you can't come back to the hood. I just hit 3 islands. 3 different islands in 8 days. Traveling the world. Trying to see our people that's in different places. And y'all, what's the point and what's the purpose of bragging about being outside when the babies is outside dying and y'all supposed to be so gangster and you ain't doing nothing to save the next generation? What's the purpose? What's the point? To feed your ego?
Moments ago. Now I'm at what Hassan said. Now, with all this going on over the weekend, last couple of days, but this is a daily violence, and you see, like he said, like the black men, like they playing the video game, they scrolling Instagram and checking out the BBLs. They looking at Facebook and looking at all the women with their filters and AI generated faces, while their children are out in the streets destroying and taking the lives of other children. The evil in this community is at a pitch to where you have to realize all that you saying that you the chosen people and and that God listens to your prayers, you have to know that that's a lie. You just a hypocrite. You won't admit it. God has turned his back on you because your religion is unsound and your hypocrisy runs too deep. Jesus said in the Bible, how can you love God who you've never seen but hate your neighbor that you see every day? Black people, y'all hate each other. Y'all hate each other. But you want to say you love God. It's impossible for you to love God with as much hate in your heart as you have for your neighbors and your fellow brother man. You don't care. Man, I wouldn't go march with these Negroes because I know it's a hustle. Anytime you marching and you marching down the street, why don't you go march and stand in front of that crack house? Stand in front of that drug house. If you want to do something about crime and violence in your city, you got to march and go where it is. And you can't take no bunch of women and children. A lot of you Negroes, y'all like to have marches and sit-ins so y'all could be surrounded by a bunch of women and children and a bunch of witnesses, snitches. That's why the community is out of control. Because the children and the youth are fearless, and the old people don't give a damn. They just want to be like massa. They want to be like their master. They want to live out their pensions. They want to take vacations. They want to live a leisurely life while their community and their people is destroyed. I told you, these people say they love their kids. They won't put a dollar aside for their children to go to college. And then scream racism when their children can't compete with the ones who paid into their children's education. We have to wake up because this is deep. 100 people, 19 lose their lives in one city, and this happened in Detroit. They got a new crime just happened in Detroit. Y'all don't care. Y'all know the Democrats don't care. That's why y'all keep voting for them. Y'all keep voting for these Democrats because the democracy that they implement is what you like. You like debauchery. You like filth. You like betrayal. You like lies. You like everything that God says don't do, you like to do. And you can get that by not being conservative and be as liberal as you want and sit back and watch your kids be destroyed. This is bad. Signing to you out of Detroit. Salute to all patriots. Keep y'all head on swivel. Peace.